We are back with another episode of the Too Legit Show. And this time, to help kick off the year, we've got a very special guest, great boxer in the flyweight, super flyweight, bantamweight divisions, Charlie Edwards. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for having me on.
No worries. And the first thing I've got to ask, and obviously the turn of the new year, how's the dad life?
All right, well, it's been 2 weeks now. It's definitely a bit of a struggle to get used to. The sleep's a big thing for me. I'm a big sleeper. I'm normally on like 9 hours, 10 hours a night. So it's been challenging waking up every 3 hours here and there. But other than that, it's been a joy. It's been great. It's been lovely, like when I look down and see her after a sleepless night the next morning, you just kind of laugh to yourself and you do whatever it takes for her. So it's been good. I've enjoyed it. It's challenging, don't get me wrong. I'm still getting used to my new life change. And this is my first week back training. So it's probably why I'm feeling it on the second day back already.
Yeah, exactly. And before I do get into talking about your training, I've got to ask, did you manage to clean your carpet?
Yes, I managed to clean the carpet. She's done it twice now. Three strikes, she's out. But yeah, I managed to. Thank God for Instagram. Thank God for people who have been in this position before, because they advised me what to get straight away, and I got it and it fixed it straight away.
And obviously, you mentioned that was your first day back at training today. How was that? How did you feel?
To be fair, yesterday was my second day. To be fair, when I went in the gym, I was tired. I set my alarm. I was in at 9 o'clock. So off the back of a kind of sleepless night, here and there, up here and there, and then going to the gym that early. It was quite challenging, but it was weird getting up and going to the gym. And then when I walked in the gym, I just felt at home. Felt like I've missed the place so much. I've had 2 weeks where I haven't been in the gym. My missus had a C-section, so I've had to like help out even more so. Um, but walking back in the gym, I felt good. I felt happy. I felt content. And when I started letting the punches flow, I felt like at peace again. And I felt like the hunger and determination has been relit inside of me. Um, I've never like done boxing really for myself. If that makes sense. Like my dad really wanted me to do it when I was younger. I got a talent. I went for it, and then it kind of developed into my career. And I love boxing, but I never done it solely my purpose for myself. Then with my mum, I dedicated everything to her. It helped me get through that hard time. And when I won the world title and then being world champion and vacating it, I felt like I had set out what I had to achieve from the sport. And now my little one's coming to the world. I know I've got that oomph to go again. I'm going to do it for her now. I'm going to provide her with the best life. And to win another world title means more to me to give to her than to win it for myself, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And
So yeah.
do you think, obviously your last fight was 3 months ago, you had a
Yeah.
layoff over the holidays of 2021. So do you think your layoff, spending time with your family in the holidays, has allowed you to come into this year full of energy and motivation?
Yeah, definitely. Especially with the birth of my little daughter. That's pushed me on another tangent of providing her with an even better life. So it's given me the motivation. It's just it's a bit crazy right now with this coronavirus still lingering around and still blocking things. The promoters aren't really knowing what's going on in the UK. Shows are getting cancelled. People are falling out of fights. So nothing's really set in stone. So it's a very challenging year. Like it's been a very challenging year last year, but coming into this, it's tough. It's tough. Like I'm motivated and I want to get the ball rolling again. I want to get back into big fights. I want to fight after fight and kind of build a momentum. But right now it is tough and it's been challenging. The motivation's there for me now, even more so. But the opportunities aren't so much right now. So just got to bide our time and wait around a little bit and hopefully something drops.
Does that get you even more frustrated? Because obviously it's the new year, you're more remotivated and everything. And now because we're in lockdown, maybe until March and who knows tier four after that, does that sort of give you hope, but also a sense of, pure frustration that you can't fight?
Yeah, really, really frustration. It's like you're in no man's land. Um, After my Martinez fight, I I vacated the title, moved up a weight, and I was out of the ring for like 14 months. You know, albeit I was in the gym training, but I was out of the limelight, the boxing, the entertainment, the like championship fights for 12 months, and it's hard. It's tough, mentally challenging. Then going from that to having a fight, to think, right, I've got over the ring rust now. I'll put the past in the past, move forward with a career, start getting fights again, to it being stagnantly stopped and paused again. It's frustrating. It's frustrating, but it's not only frustrating for me, it's frustrating for everyone. So I can't take it personal. And I just got to keep believing, like, things will happen, things will get back to normal. But right now, I've just got to focus on the birth of my little little daughter, my wife, and just getting back into the gym and training. And whatever happens will happen. And it's out of our control. It's out of my control. So it's just like it's being ready and staying ready.
And over the last 2 years up until this year, have you seen your attitude to fighting change?
Um, I think it has changed a little bit. I believe it took me a real big while to get over what happened to me, like the whirlwind of becoming a world champion. Like, then that year and a bit just span my head out completely, if I'm honest. Like, I didn't realize it was happening to me at the time, but it was like I was chucked in the limelight. I had everyone wanting to be my mate. I was being pulled from pillar to post, giving my energy to too many people. I was making a weight that really I shouldn't have been making. Like, we knew going down to fight for the flyweight title again, it would have a times period. So to kill myself to make that weight for all that time, then the Martinez thing happened, and then getting over that, it was hard. Like that year after, like I was in a very dark place a year after. I've thought about chucking it. I thought about I don't want to do this no more. I've reached my biggest goal I set out to achieve, and really, is there anything else I need to do? I don't need to prove anything to anyone else now. This is what I've set out to do. So it did mess my head up a lot having that year out, but having the realization of stepping back from the sport, making myself financially secure, buying my house, you know what I mean, getting married, spending time with my wife, having a child. It's the year couldn't have been any better for getting away from boxing, and now I'm eager and hunger to get back into the boxing. That break's done me the world of good. I sorted my head out, and albeit my missus was my rock and she helped me through some very dark days, but I'm back here now and I'm back fighting. And I've been through tough times before, really tough times with my mum and the John Real Casemiro defeat and stuff like that, coming back from that. And I know all this hardship and all this fuel is getting added to the fire. And now it's frustrating, but I want to kickstart my career off again. I want to go again. I want to get another world title. I want to push and push and push and do it at another weight where I'm more comfortable. And it's just like we said, it's a frustrating time, but the year has changed me.
Well, that's certainly good to hear that you're now remotivated. You took the time you'll need, which is wonderful to hear. And I want to know, looking forward, your last fight was at bantamweight, but you said it felt a bit weird with the crowds and everything. So do you see your next couple of fights at bantamweight, or do you want to go to super flyweight? What do you think?
Well, coming into my last fight on fight week, we actually realised I'm not a bantamweight. Like, it was too ridiculously easy to make the weight. I am a super flyweight, but we was going into that fight as a test of what we're going to do in the future. So I didn't want to push down to super flyweight and then panic, thinking, oh no, I can't do this. So I done bantamweight to give me a bit of more comfort with the weight. Realised how easy I made it, and now I know moving forward, super flyweight's my weight. So yeah, I'll be competing at super flyweight, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to super flyweight. I really do believe it's my weight. Last time I fought at super flyweight, I knocked out Anthony Nelson. I was strong. I was fast. My reactions and everything was there. And then after that, I moved down to fight Rosales, and then I stayed at flyweight for too long. So I've become a shell of the fighter that I know I am, and I'm looking forward to proving that as well and sticking my fingers up at everyone who's doubted me.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like you are, as I said, remotivated, and that fight was your first under Frank Warren. Have you spoken to him at all, or do you plan to speak to him about the year?
Yeah, well, like I said, my management team deals with mainly Frank. I've had little talks and that with Frank as well. But we're pursuing to get out at the end of March. That was the last talks that we spoke about. But again, who knows what can happen, because you see people was fighting this month and they got all cancelled. So who knows what's going to happen? They're talking about the shows being back in February. They could happen, but then all of a sudden they could be cancelled again. So it's hard. It's hard for us boxers right now. Just as it's hard for everyone else. We've just got to just keep taking it on the chin and keep marching forward, as I suppose. And what will be will be. You know, I want a busy year. Like I'm in a 5-fight contract with Frank Warren. Do you know what I mean? And it has to be done in 18 months. So he's gonna be pushing me to get into fights. You know, we've talked about getting back into championship fights and fighting for the world title within these 5 fights. It has to happen. So we're I can only see in the next 12 to 16 months that it will happen. It has to.
And obviously, you do want to fight for a title, preferably this year, maybe next, whatever happens. But outside of a title fight, do you have a dream matchup for yourself that you would just love to be a part of?
I think everyone knows it, and I know I say it all the time, but I want to fight Cal Fight. I think it makes perfect sense. 2021, it's not the year of international fights, really. Let's be real. Off the back of 2020, all this like COVID stuff that's been flying around, it makes sense, and hopefully we will be able to get it on one day. I want to fight him due to the fact of all the years on the GB squad, all the kind of like background history that's gone on, like the way he used to set about me inspiring when I was a 17-year-old kid and he had just been to the Olympics and like trying to show me who the man is. That there's an underlying like hunger to put him in his place, and there's that underlying hunger to want to get some sort of revenge for myself, bittersweet revenge. And I know I can beat him. And I really believe that he is not confident in one bit of it, because he keeps saying in interview after interviews that I get sent from my friends that, oh, I'll bust Charlie up every single interview he gets asked about me. But he ain't willing to prove it. So if you're not willing to prove it, stop chatting shit. Do you know what I mean? Because he's making himself look stupid to the fans as well. Like, and every time he gets asked, he's always talking about world championships, this world championships that. It's like, come on, Cal, let's be real. You're a super flyweight. You got beat off Chocolito, and fair play to him. He's a pound for pound superstar, but you're not a world level bantamweight. And now would knock you out. Casemiro would knock you out, and Mbali would beat you. It's let's be real. Like, but it's boxing's a business. Boxing's a business, and I can't blame him, because why would he want to go and ruin his career and besmirch himself forevermore, getting beat by little Charlie Edwards, who thinks is beneath him. So, but that is the fight I would want to be matched up in at 2021. I think I've made it clear I want to fight him since 2017. But he's dodged me every time and don't want to entertain it. So that's getting frustrating now, and that's getting like dead in the water. And if it don't happen in 2021, it probably ain't ever gonna happen. So that's what I'd like to happen this year. Regarding Fury, AJ, if that gets on, Frank Warren versus Eddie Hearn, it makes perfect sense. So we'll wait and see what the future has in store.
That would certainly be an interesting fight to make. I'd definitely love to see that. Love the build up, everything. And I want to know, you've been fighting for ages. I think it was since you said it was 11 or 12 years old, sort of around.
So I'm turning 28 next month.
Yeah.
So I've been fighting near enough 17 years.
For a while, exactly. And you've been a part of the Team GB squad, boxing in multiple divisions. What's your craziest story or craziest thing about the business of boxing?
If I'm talking very truthful, the craziest thing about boxing is that drug cheats get away with it. They get away with it because they earn money. And it's still crazy to this day. It still happens. It gets hushed. It gets pushed aside. It gets blamed on other things like Mexican tainted meat and it's bullshit. Do you know what I mean? It's a business. That is the sport of boxing. It's really a business. Any young fighter coming through, you need your business brain on at all times. I was naive coming through. I was young. I was hungry. I loved the sport of boxing. I just wanted to become a world champion. I realized coming through that it's a business and you've got to play the business card. It doesn't matter what you know, it's who you know. And that's not only in boxing, that's in a way of life.
Yeah, I definitely I agree. And is there any fights you've kind of met through your career that you've just been so starstruck in awe of meeting them?
Um, I met Marquez. I met Marquez on my debut. It was my debut, actually. I was making my debut and he was at the press conference. I met him. I was really instructed to see him. But I'm not a kind of starstruck kind of character. Like I've seen Pacquiao, I've met Pacquiao. I don't get like that. It's not in my nature. I'd say the most meaningful person who has like touched my career the most is probably Andy Lee. I trained besides him when I was with Adam Booth, and I kind of like really liked his aura, liked the way he is, and he taught me a hell of a lot. And he was a very knowledgeable man. So and Ryan Burnett, my sparring partner, he was probably one of the persons who's taught me the most throughout my career. And I fought him in my amateur days, and he beat me in my amateur days, and we turned into really good friends, and we're really good friends today. So boxing's a double-edged sword. You can find some beautiful people in it, but then you can find some really dark things in it.
And this year, well, maybe might be delayed, but there's been a lot of talk of a boxing game, much like the UFC games. And I'm presuming that you're going to be in it if there is one. And I
Yeah.
want to know, what would be your highest attribute?
My highest attribute, I think my jab.
Yeah.
My jab would be the highest attribute. Yeah, definitely, and speed.
Yeah, definitely. You've got both. And final question, I want to know. I do like to ask a lot of fighters when they come on the show. There's been lots of great arenas for fighting in history, the past 2,000 years, and one of them is the Colosseum in Rome. And I want to know, if you had to fight there 2,000 years ago, what would be your weapon of choice and why?
Oh, weapon of choice. I'd probably take a bow and arrow. So
Really?
just long range and just pop people off and get away.
Oh, I do. But if they're wearing armor though, it's going to be a bit tricky. That.
That's true. That's gladiatorial days, isn't it? I'm watched the Hunger Games last night, so my head's on that. I'm just like start shooting people off with a bow and arrow.
Yeah, a quick little knife.
Yeah, I don't really know.
Fair enough. But is there anything, if you want to shout out anything, sponsors? I know you have a clothing line. Then the floor is yours.
Yeah. Well, I've got a clothing line coming. It will be coming sometime this year, probably the back end of the year, called Even Better. It's a mindset. What we're trying to spread is every day is a day to become even better. Everyone can become better in each and every aspect or way of life, way of walking in life. So that's kind of like the movement we want to get behind. I also want to say a massive thank you to my sponsors, Hunter Jones Investments, Cox as well, and GoPack. They've sponsored me and they've looked after me all through this kind of time, this sticky stage, and they're always giving me my money, so they've kept me afloat and they've kept me so I don't have to panic like everyone else is doing. And yeah, I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone who always tunes in to watch me, to listen to me speak, and to support my career. I really do appreciate it, and I try to get back to as many messages as I can on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, but sometimes we get overloaded and we've got to live our own lives. But I really appreciate every single message, and I do try to get back.